What if I told you you didn't have to break the bank in order to have an awesome Android experience? What if I told you these devices were under $500? Do I have your attention? These are the TCL 10L and 10 Pro. Hey, Zach Pack. Welcome back to Zach Talks Tech. It's been a while. I'm glad to be back. Let's get into this review. Here we go. Back in January earlier this year, I went to the TCL press conference to see the unveiling of their two new devices, the TCL 10L and the TCL 10 Pro. At the time of the press conference, we didn't have a lot of details about the devices. We knew some basic specs, but not a lot of details. One of the biggest details, though, that got a lot of people's attention were the price points of these devices.
Below $500 retail. We want to bring these technologies into the market for more consumers.
The TCL 10 Pro has a price of $449.99, $450 for what's packed inside this device. And for the TCL 10L, it's priced at $249.99, $250. And I'll tell you guys right now, for what's inside these devices, what's packed in here, this is true value in an Android device. I have been really impressed with these. Now, there's a lot of things that TCL has packed into these devices in terms of usability, user experience, things like that. But there are three specific areas that I kind of focused on for this review. And I think these are the areas that a lot of consumers, or at least people that are in this market right here, this mid-tier market, are looking at. Those three areas, or those three features, are the display, the camera, and the battery. Both the TCL 10L and the 10 Pro use their own proprietary technology called Next Vision. So basically it's made by TCL from the ground up. The 10 Pro is using an AMOLED display and the 10L is using an FHD or LCD display. But I gotta tell you, I had a great experience using both of these. You can tell a slight difference when you are comparing, one to the other, or maybe against a competitor device, but they are not bad experiences at all. In fact, aside from my usual YouTube consumption, I went on to YouTube and I found some HDR 4K footage, 4K videos, and played them on here. And as you guys can see, very impressive. Clear, it's punchy. It really looks great. Definitely a great experience, and I'm glad that TCL really invested hard into this. And it's good to know that they make their own displays. I personally own a TCL Series 4 television, and it is amazing. HDR, 4K, I am really happy with it. And like I said, when I heard what TCL was doing with these devices and my experience with their television, I knew that they would bring in that great display technology to these devices. So boom, there you go. Awesome displays. Let's talk about the batteries on these devices. On the Pro, you're gonna be looking at a 4,500 milliamp battery, and on the L, you're basically looking at a 4,000 milliamp battery. So 4,000 and 4,500. I was getting all day plus a little bit into the next day battery life with these devices. I did leave these on for a couple times to see what the drainage would be overnight. Keep in mind, I have multiple Twitter accounts, multiple Gmail, multiple Outlook accounts, multiple Instagram accounts. I got all sorts of notifications going off on these devices. I would consider myself a high-end user, and even with all those notifications and things that are going on with these devices, overnight when I left them, they were both at 60%. When I got up the next day, they were at 55%. So a 5% drain overnight, and all the notifications still came through. Nothing was missed. Very impressed. So if one of your concerns is battery life on an Android device, I would definitely take a look at these, because like I said, I'm getting all day plus a little bit, and I only had to charge up, towards the end of the day or into the next day basically to top these off and get rolling again. Very impressive with the battery life on both of these. Let's talk about the camera systems on these devices. Let's start with the TCL 10L. You're gonna get a quad 1, 2, 3, 4 camera system on the back and a single shooter, a selfie shooter on the front. On the back of the TCL 10L, you're gonna find a 48 megapixel high-res camera, a depth camera, a macro lens, a 2 megapixel, and a super wide angle camera lens as well. And the selfie camera is a 16 megapixel. Here are some of the shots that I took around the city when I first initially got the device. You can see the colors are punchy, things are vibrant, in focus. I did take a couple selfie shots here with the bokeh and whatnot. The bokeh is good. There can be some improvement around the edges and things like that, but I wouldn't call it bad at all. In fact, you know, for this price point, I would call it really, really good. When it comes to low light shooting with the TCL 10L, it does need some assistance. And by that I mean, I would recommend, if you know you're gonna be taking low light shots, to have some stabilization. So a small tripod or something like that, or some way to basically stabilize the device. Otherwise, you will get a little bit of noise. But otherwise, I would say the shots are good. On the TCL 10 Pro, on the back, you're gonna find a 16 megapixel super wide angle lens, a 5 megapixel macro lens, a super low light video lens, and a 64 megapixel ultra high res lens. And on the front here is a 24 megapixel selfie camera. Again, here are some of the shots I took with the Pro. Again, you can see a lot of the depth effects, things like that. You are gonna get a couple more modes on the Pro as opposed to the L, and that's basically some nice customization that they throw in here. And overall, again, like I said with the 10L, with the 10 Pro here, very, very impressed, especially at this price point. Really, really great. Like I was talking about before with the 10L, when it comes to low light or night shooting, again, I would suggest some stabilization, a small tripod, something like that, or a way to basically prop the device. Otherwise, you will introduce some noise. But overall, again, great photos, great value, and I'm really impressed. And by the way, that watermark that you guys see in the bottom left-hand corner of the photos, it can be removed and it'll be turned off by default when you buy the devices. We wouldn't want to trigger anybody now, would we? Now, on top of the awesome display, great cameras, and awesome battery, there are a lot of other great features packed inside these devices. You're gonna find things like FM receivers, IR blasters, so you can control their devices within your home, headphone jacks on both devices, which I think at this tier, at this price point, a headphone jack nowadays is considered a feature. So I really welcome the headphone jack in there. I know there's some other people that also will be happy about the headphone jack. On top of that, both devices come with 6 gigabytes of RAM. On the 10L, you're gonna find 64 gigabytes of storage there for yourself. Plus, you can put an SD card in there and expand the storage. And on the Pro, you're gonna find 128 gigabytes of internal memory on there. And like I said, 6 gigabytes of RAM. And again, you can put a micro SD card in there and expand the storage if you want to. As for the UI experience, this TCL's own TCL UI overlaid on top of Android there. I didn't find it intrusive. I found it snappy. I never had any lag or any issues at all. Like I said, I have multiple emails, multiple social media coming here. I'm taking photos, I'm watching video, I'm doing all sorts of things. I never experienced a lag or any sort of resistance or anything like that while I was using these devices. I did find them snappy and I did find them very responsive. As for the chipset on these devices, the Pro has the Qualcomm 675 and this is the 665 on the 10L. Again, these are Qualcomm's mid-tier, but again, I never experienced any slow or lag or anything like that. I think at this price point, for what's packed in here, these are tremendously well valued and perform tremendously, tremendously well. Plus, you also get that quick charge technology because of Snapdragon. One of the other unique features of the TCL 10L and the 10 Pro is this key right here. It's an extra key, it's called a smart key. And this smart key right here can be programmed to do whatever you want. You can program it for a single press, a double press, or a press and hold. So you can make it do things like launch the camera, open up your calendar, launch a game, whatever you want. It's up to you. You can completely customize this. You can also turn it off if you don't like it. Really nice that they've included this and that they allow the customization, unlike some people. That'll do it for my review of the TCL 10 Pro and the TCL 10L. Amazing, amazing, impressive value for $450 and $250. Go ahead and check them out. The launch is on May 19th, Walmart, Best Buy, and Amazon online there. Go ahead and check them out. Carrier information will be coming out soon as well. I'll leave a link for TCL's website for you guys down in the description area there. Go ahead and click that, take a look. If you're looking for true value in an Android device, if you're looking to stretch your dollar and get something with a quality build and notifications. If you're looking for something with a quality build, feature rich, easy to use, awesome displays, great battery, great cameras, I would highly recommend you take a look at these devices. So that opens up the conversation with you now. Let me know down in the comments section there. Do you plan on picking one of the TCL devices? Do you have any questions about them? Let me know if there's any other content or anything else you want me to explore on these devices I can bring for you guys. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed this video. If you have, go ahead and hit that like button. Think about hitting that subscribe button as well. Give me a hashtag ZAKpack down in the comments section. You're part of my ZAKpack, and I'm glad you're here. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. Take care. Cheers.